Very quiet.
Oh, you know why? Because we don't have a theme tune.
Oh, we don't have a theme tune.
And we don't have a logo.
But this is a pretty good logo.
But we got both, thank you.
Oh.
To one man. Show him, Davey.
Bam! GFOP Steve Tansek sent us this.
I love that.
Logo.
Didn't just send us a logo. Cue Steve Tansek's theme song. Kyle Beckerman's Wet Dreams.
Brilliant, Rog.
Kyle Beckerman's Wet Dreams.
How are you talking? Your lips aren't even moving, Rog.
Brilliant, Rog.
How are they reading your mind? How's Steve reading your mind, Rog?
Sometimes I think we're all just living in Kyle Beckerman's Wet Dream. And we're all just living in it. I love this one.
Brilliant, Rog.
This is what I hear all the time. This could be the one. This could be the one. And cut.
Brilliant, Rog.
I love it.
Is that called Brilliant, Rog? It's a good name for a song. Oh, fantastic.
Good, Julian.
Thanks for sending that in, Steve. We want more theme music submissions. We want more graphic submissions. We need lots of production help over here at Men in Blazers. Also, send us your questions on anything, Rog.
You know what I'd like?
What?
See if you can read my mind, Zips. I'm thinking about something, Zips.
Oh, he wants some Guinness. He wants
We still
some
love
Guinness.
you, Ireland. Cheers, mate. This is not Guinness, it's just a beer. Other beers are available. We don't promote on Vice Sports.
Yeah, not at all. It's just a very dark beer from Ireland. So send us your questions. Hashtag MIB Euro Copa.
Yeah.
About the Euros, about the Copa, about MIB, about the book that Roger's reading. Whatever you want.
So Spainy.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the Euros
Yeah.
first. We're going to go into the USA and the night of nights.
Yeah.
Hands up if you didn't believe. Hands up if you believe now. We're going to get to it and then some. But first, David, what a day it's been. The Euros are upon us.
Yeah.
I will tell you, it is such a joy to see football again on a field by 22 men who actually seem to care about winning, surrounded by fans who are happy to pay money to go and watch it and enjoy every second. Sometimes a bit too much,
Too much, yeah. But there you go.
So happy to have it on you. Spainy.
Yeah, so we start with Spain. Start with the earlier game. We'll go in chronological order. Earlier today, Spain won, Czech Republic 0 after seeing chance after chance go begging in Toulouse. Gerard Piqué latched onto an exquisite Andres Iniesta ball in the 87th minute to earn Spain 3 points in Group D.
Never in doubt. Just a bit in doubt because it was so Spainy. They were like watching peak Arsenal knocking the ball around, looking at their own 72% possession rate and saying, give us 3 points. Poor finishing, poor finishing, poor finishing. And then it just needed a big, brawny centre-back to come on and do the biz.
It was a very un-Spain-like goal. Fantastic ball from Iniesta, but it was a very un-Spain-like goal. A cross into the box and a finishing header. Fabregas also defending for Spain. Never seen him defend like that for Chelsea.
Mourinho turned him into a two-way player.
Yeah. And then, Rog, the game that just finished. A cracker. Ireland won, Sweden won. A tidy Wes Hoolahan finish gave Ireland the lead in the 48th minute. But in the 71st minute, Zlatan, Rog, assumed mind control over Kieran Clark, unknowingly forcing him to turn in a Zlatan cross, turned it into his own net. A point apiece at the Stade de France.
Yeah, Eric Mathis said, of course an Aston Villa player would score the best own goal of the tournament so far. Hashtag Guzan would have saved that.
Yeah.
And Pippin Teasy saying, he was looking very un-MLS-y. That is the greatest compliment that you can give a major footballer. I say, fascinating game between two teams who have some of the greatest fans in Europe. I adore the Irish fan base. They're such
amazing.
A wonderful human life force. Intense, confident Ireland to begin with.
Yeah.
Against Zlatan, Sweden, at Jeremy Lin. 781 tweeting us at kickoff. Zlatan towering over everyone. It looks like the Ladybugs movie in real life. His first notable contribution and really his first move of the first half, miscuing the 35-yard free kick right into the wall. But it was Derby County's Jeff Hendrick, who was Irish, Zlatan, for much of this game.
He has to spend a lot of his time removing his hair out of his eyes. I think he'd be an even better player if he didn't have to do that.
Derby County's Jeff Hendrick.
Yeah.
It's been a problem for many of the players, especially you Turks. Fantastic run, though, by Seamus. Beautiful Seamus Coleman. Saved his energy all season for that one run down the right flank. The pass a thing of beauty to find Wes Houlihan. Oh, Wesy, a man who many commentators believe his first name is actually Tiny Wes Houlihan. It's not. Cue explosion amongst Irish fans. Fantastic finish,
Yeah, especially
David.
if you think 4 years ago, the last time Ireland were in a major tournament at the Euros, and they were so dull. It just wasn't the team that those Irish fans really deserved. This Irish team, I thought, playing a much more exciting brand of football and holding Zlatan at bay.
Game came
initially.
alive then. Fantastic save by Darren Randolph, eligible to play for the United States of America by virtue of two things.
Yeah.
Number one is Miami-born father Ed, a basketball legend back in the day. Number two, the fact he is a bald man, but he chose to play for Ireland. He looked fantastic in goal. He could do nothing when Kieran Clark turned it round there, Davo, and 1-1. I think both teams will be elated. Both are still alive. The kind of result you want in your first game of the group stage.
A pretty good start for both teams, and looked like fantastic atmosphere.
The groups,
there at the Stade de
great
France.
starts are so yesterday in international tournaments. You don't want a great start anymore.
you want to lose everything.
You want to crap. You want to look like utter bollocks, and then you want to find imperious form match to match, and then bring the world to your knees by enforcing your will on it. Let's get to it, David.
Yes,
we'll get back to the Euros.
We're going to rewind,
Copa.
Rog.
Yeah.
Switching continents. Let's go back to Saturday night. The scene, a hot and humid Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. The USA had to get a result to advance to the Copa America quarterfinals. Jurgen Klinsmann's unchanged 11 answered the bell. A first-half Clint Dempsey goal gave the Von Traps a 1-0 lead. They refused to surrender, despite playing most of the second half down a man. DeAndre Yedlin receiving back-to-back yellow cards less than a minute apart, Rog. What a performance. What an amazing, amazing, amazing American, prototypical American performance.
What a difference a week makes.
Yeah.
2 wins, 5 goals,
Yeah.
1 slightly bonkers red card.
Yeah.
We end up winning Group A.
Yeah.
I said on the podcast, the United States Copa transformation, one of the most dramatic kind of flip-flops, Davo, since the Can You Hear Me Now guide affected to sprint. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
Klinsmann's squad now head to Seattle. They play 15th ranked in the world, Ecuador. What a game, though, this was against Paraguay. We lived 4 seasons trapped into 90 minutes. We lived dominance. We lived self-destruction. We lived gutsy, hanging on. And then we lived glory, Davo. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful glory.
Yeah.
Should we break the game down kind of point for point as we saw it?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, for me, I think it started at the back, really, Rog. Although you're going with Jurgen. Let's start with Jurgen. Let's give him credit. Under 5 coming in. Let's give him some credit, Rog.
For him, the same lineup is now the new tweaking. I mean, this is a man who has decided in his hour of need, thank you, Sunil Gulati, for making that clear to the entire world, he's going to live and die with his veterans. And this was the first time Jurgen has used the same lineup 3 games in a run. The beautiful, beautiful Paul Carr tweeted, it's actually the first time in team history the US has played the same lineup 3 games in a run since the 1930 World Cup. We got to the semi-final that time. Will we do so again? I mean, to me, it's a collective forced upon the group. They may not all love each other, Davo.
It's like an arranged marriage,
But
Rog.
external realities mean that these players, like Clint, like Jermaine, arguably like Michael Bradley, though I don't think so, who would be swept aside possibly by the new regime, new blood, new life forces, they all need to win. They all
They
cannot
need each other, is what you're saying. They need each
it's
other.
an odd alliance, David.
Yeah, it is an alliance, though. I mean, I thought Klinsmann going to the American Outlaws the night before the game, speaking to them passionately, during the game, getting the crowd up on their feet, getting that support. Amazing, amazing scenes. Thinking only a week ago how under fire he was after the loss to Colombia.
Point 2. John Brooks is a great American.
Yeah, he's not just a great American, Rog. He's a great football player. And this is something I don't really remember saluting a US central defender after a massive game since the days of Alexi Lalas. Rog.
Balboa.
I think even then it's hard to think of the player of the match being a US central defender and a young US central defender, so fired up, so aggressive, his positional play so excellent, his distribution so good. I guarantee he's never fist pumped for Hertha Berlin. That was just so great to watch. Look, on jingoistic flag waving, terms.
Don't take away my flag waving.
No, but it's
all I've
beautiful.
got.
But just on pure footballing terms, this performance by John Brooks, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, in the early exchanges were nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
I say thank God for John. He was like a protective golem around the US goal. The lineup was the same. The form, the formation different. They went 4-4-2, which allowed St. Bobby to come in from the wings, but it also meant they were kind of wild and hyperventilating going forward. It allowed Paraguay to just eagerly counter. They did. That 3-on-1 break was the stuff that nightmares are made of, but thank God that one was that wonderful man. My favourite photo I've ever taken is of John Brooks, one of his first training camps, showing me his tattoos. On his right elbow, he has tattooed Berlin with a star exactly over the house, the place he was born in.
Yep.
And in his language, on this one, he had Illinois, the state of Illinois, where his father was born. And he pointed to the star. He said, that's where I am from, Chicago, Illinois. He loves it. He loves playing for this US team. And when he absolutely smothered that attack, it was a transcendent moment, not just for him, not just for the team, but I think for the fans who watched the team. It made them believe he had an extra dimension to his game. It has to be said, since he decided to go smooth ball, David, I think tactically it's changed his game, giving him the confidence. Because last season, he was the scapegoat during the CONCACAF Gold Cup. How that has changed. Not the only ball, Davo, to come up large when called upon. This man.
Brad Guzan played superbly, save after save after save, and just the fire. I loved. He showed the fire that you want from a US goalkeeper as well, Rog.
Oh, I love that one. Give me a kiss.
Yeah.
I love bald,
in the eye.
Kissing bald. I adore that man. I really do. He has excelled in this tournament in a way he hasn't since the Azteca, Mexico, in the Hex, in the last cycle, playing so well when called upon. Another gentleman who Jurgen has said, I am going to believe in you. You are my starter. Everyone laughed. Some people came out with a hashtag, pray for Guzan.
Yeah.
That was one of confidence and belief in the gentleman. And that confidence that Jurgen has... I taped a pod with Hercules Gomez, which is going to be released this afternoon. He talked about how Jurgen saying, you, not Tim Howard, you are going to be my starter, has filled this man with confidence.
Management, fantastic.
Balds, great American balds. All of you who are watching who have fine heads of hair, I know you're jealous of our frontal lobes and our exposed pates, Davo. Not everyone deserves them. And in this game, it really was the ball stepping up.
Give a little bit of credit to a non-ball, Jeff Cameron, as well, is that your goalkeeper, your fellow centre-back, can't have that good a game unless your positioning is solid and you're always dependable. I thought he was great too.
We may not be high on creativity, but who needs creativity when you got this man?
Bam! Clint.
Boom!
Yeah, he was so up for it, Rog. He was so up for it.
Oh, he really was, Davo. I mean, he converted the goal from a similar late arriving in the area spot where Wayne Rooney came up short for England earlier in the day. The goalkeeper passed Wayne Rooney's shot past the post. Clint stepped up, finished. I mean, he is a phenomenon. 51 goals. We've got to say, fantastic play on the goal by José Zardes. Off the rided through the first two games. But what a ball.
Great
when he
pass.
later in the game did blow his clearest chance one-on-one. One of you tweeted, Zardes, heavy touch or heaviest touch. Dreadful finish on the break. I would say he's a work in progress.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting what Landon said in the halftime show, that that would have been a pass earlier in his career that José Zardes would have sent in too early, but he just held the ball and waited. It enabled Clint to get on it. Clint looking so much better in that 4-4-2 as well, playing next to Bobby Wood. Yes, I think the US pay a price in midfield for that, but certainly that partnership looks excellent, Rog.
Point 4.
Yep.
We still managed to crap the bed. Just when everything was looking great, when Brad Friedel declared that was the best 45 minutes he'd seen in Jurgen's tenure.
Amazing.
God, I've got to say, something about Fox do not like it when the US lead at halftime. Their halftime shows are not designed to praise Jurgen too much. And thank God they had a good chance to possibly defenestrate him, because the second half, my God, what went on in DeAndre's mind? 58 seconds, 2 yellow cards, 47th, 48th minute. To me, both yellow cards.
Yeah, for me also. I was going to ask you what you thought about it. We haven't spoken about it yet. I thought that the first one was something, you go 2 feet through that challenge, even if you take the ball, you're going to get called by an international referee. You're going to get carded every time. Also, he had a number of fouls. He had a number of fouls in the first half as well. He was going to get a yellow card there. The second one, I've seen that straight Reddit. It was a terrible challenge. To do that when you're on a yellow card, DeAndre, we love you, but really.
We do love you, and it ushered in 15 minutes of poor judgment all around. Michael Bradley kicked out. Referee didn't see it. Jermaine Jones looked like he was just obsessed with chesting up to anyone and everyone, which I kind of love.
Yeah, I did. I liked
man.
that. I liked it.
Bobby Wood had his patience fray. At Greg Jacobs tweeted, feels like I'm watching Bengals Steelers, and Jurgen Klinsmann is in the Marvin Lewis role. US started to unravel. It was helter-skelter. Ali Bedoya did a huge amount of work that you don't really get a lot of credit for.
Totally agreed.
And the flailing limbs, the takedowns, the elbows. Oh, and it has to be said, Paraguay created very little despite all of the opportunities that they did have, which I take an incredible amount of solace
It's been a
from.
very bad tournament for the Guays, Rog. Both of the Guays.
You can say that about so many tournaments, Davo. Come on, Guays. Our other podcast, In Guays Today, will cover the story from your POV in deep. But number 5, Davo, this is the one. We still have no idea how good this US team are at all. I mean, not to sound too Brendan Rodgers, but in this game, the US showed huge character.
Yeah.
But beyond that, what do they have? I mean, Colombia, we got stuffed by them. And we all said, Colombia are a mighty team. I don't think Colombia were very good. They then went and lost to Costa Rica. Costa Rica, we smashed. I actually thought Costa Rica made a series of tactical decisions which were crazy, but are actually quite a good team. Paraguay in this game, we said, it was just Paraguay we beat. But Paraguay, I thought they too were quite a robust team. It's almost impossible to define how good the US are right now. Wheels within wheels. Everything is shifting. They're a moving target.
Do you think you could ever define that by the end of this tournament? Is this a problem with the Copa Aniversario, that we don't know how good these other teams are? We don't know how much they really want to be here. Even when the US win this thing, are we going to know how good they are?
They are going to win this thing now. They are. And as soon as Brazil went out, we'll chat about that one in a minute, I turned around to myself on my couch, sitting on my own, turned around to myself, I said, bloody hell, you know we're going to win this thing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of you we're not going to talk about it. I don't want to curse
But
it.
look, I do think, I think the US answered, look,
I think it's more about the US than it is about this tournament.
And I think
they've been incredibly erratic.
The team spirit is phenomenal. Just to get that performance, that amount of energy for 90-plus minutes of football, it is just, you so rarely see it in international football, even when playing at home in front of what has to be said, a fantastic crowd. Amazing job by the Outlaws. It was absolutely phenomenal. But it was just was a passionate performance. I think the one thing that really stood out for me, though, is we've always said the 3 things. Who's going to score the goals? Who are going to step up and be the big players to replace Landon and Clint? And Michael, and Tim, and who's going to play in central defence? I think the John Brooks performance was like the emergence of a real star, a guy who's actually playing, a guy who really is doing legitimate things for the US after his performance at the World Cup also. I think that was what made a big difference. But look, the spirit on this team, amazing stuff.
Spirit amazing, defence amazing. We're going to see how good Orozco is against an incredibly fast Ecuador front 2. Bobby Wood is an absolute darling. Jermaine Jones is like a man possessed when he wants to be. Totally. I adore that bloke. In terms of creativity, when they play a solid to good team, we will see if they have what it takes to create those chances. It's pretty clear at this point that Christian Pulisic is not actually in the squad. He's just been given unbelievably good tickets to watch every good American game during this Cooper run. Yeah, front row.
I wouldn't want to play the US if I'm anyone in the world right now, though. I just wouldn't want to be playing the US. The energy is just too much. They have so much self-belief.
And here's what I'm worried about, because I do worry occasionally, dear viewers, as you know. I do wonder whether a second half like that, just an exhausting, ground down, emotionally high, energy low, second half does exhaust you mentally as you fly across the country again to Seattle, or does it bind you closer together as a band of brothers? We will see, Davo. We will see. The US, even though they are way below Ecuador in the crazy FIFA rankings, they are going to be favourites in this game. Huge home crowd. Seattle is going to do us proud. They're going to be big favourites. They won't have a better chance to show the nation that men can do it too.
Yeah.
And by men can do it too, I mean fine form in the tournament, in the face of many, many doubters. When Jurgen Klinsmann said semi-final is our goal, many laughed.
Yeah.
This team can have the last laugh and make those laughers laugh, not last, or whatever that phrase is.
Yeah, that quarterfinal against Ecuador, that's 9:30 Eastern time, Rog, in Seattle. Seattle, such a great place
They invented
for the
soccer
US to be playing. Ecuador coming off a 4-0 victory over Haiti in East Rutherford, New Jersey yesterday evening. Rutherford, New Jersey. I flew over it, Rog. Flew over it, coming back from Montana.
It was all you could do to not strafe the peasants.
Well, no, it's amazing. As you flew over what has to be said is a third full stadium, just in the time it took to circle around, I think Ecuador scored 3 goals and had about 7 shots. Pretty one-sided game, as a couple of games have been against Haiti.
Good, Josie!
Do we know how good Ecuador really are, though? I don't really know. I don't really know what to expect.
Here's what I'd say. Put no stock in what you saw in the pre-game friendly warm-up. We will see. The US can do this. I have no doubt it will be a magical, magical day for this nation. Talking about magical days for this nation.
Yeah.
Brazil.
Brazil, Rog. While the USA plays on, Brazil is heading home, or some version of Brazil is heading home. Last night in Foxborough, Massachusetts, Dunga's side lost 1-0 to Peru, Rog, behind a 75th minute Raul Ruidiaz goal that was turned in by his hand. I know, very, very blatant handball. Equal parts shock and outrage, mostly among ticket promoters, as Brazil crashes out.
The game that featured the world's highest density of neck tattoos. I've got to get mine, actually. If the US do win on Thursday, I may get a neck tattoo. Big, big neck tat of Brad Guzan's. Brad Guzan's behind is what I'm thinking. What do you think?
Less bald.
Right there.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. The game, third stringers, Brazil's non-injured remnant. Not a big surprise that they didn't get out the group stage. In reality, it is in name. Amazing goal, though, by handballing's Raul Ruidiaz. I did see an incredible stat. 91% of people polled in Sao Paulo said they couldn't care about the Brazilian national team right now. They are so low. It was a fascinating moment to watch. The goal went in. It was clearly handball. The referee was surrounded by players. He was speaking his mic for about 4.5 minutes. Amazing scenes going on. Mason, a GFOP, wrote how much he loved the Massachusetts State Police standing behind the goal, shouting at the referee, he hit it with his hand. Even the Massachusetts State Police are like clued up to the basic rules of football. The referee was trying to work out who the hell was he speaking to. Was he? He was in his mic. He was speaking to the ticket office at the quarterfinal stadium to find out how they were doing with the ticket sales, to find out how much if Brazil didn't make it and maybe Peru did, how much that would hurt the box office. Once he got the call, he said goal, which it clearly wasn't. I mean, whatever he was doing, we will never know. But
talking to Sepp. I have no idea who was on the other end of the phone.
It's just and then they still got it wrong. The worst thing to happen to sports in Brazil since all that poo was found floating in the Olympic rowing venues. Nation's first win over Brazil in 31 years of their history. Peruvian journalist Ricardo Leon, I love this. I can relate to this. He tweeted, "What's historic here isn't that we beat Brazil. What's historic is that the terrible officiating error has benefited Peru."
Wow.
Because as an Evertonian,
genius.
I relate to that completely.
But it's also the half. What I'm hoping that they don't conclude from this is that the half sash is the way to go on the shirt, Rog. We need the full sash back on the Peru shirt.
Oh, get on it, would you, Peru? At Sweet Bobby, a GFOP wonder guy of Brazilian extract who lives and dies with the team, he tweeted us and said, "Just want you to know, Brazil have officially become England." The only difference being they've actually won stuff in the past.
Yeah.
Emphasis on in the past.
Yeah.
Sweet Bobby, we feel your pain.
Yeah, stuff also meaning more than one thing. Okay, Rog, talking of England, we've got to go back to the Euros, where young, exciting, likeable England, naive England, waited for the 92nd minute to revert to the same tired narrative, with Roy Hodgson's side up 1-0 behind a thumping direwolf free kick. A looping header from Vasily Berezutski beat Joe Hart in the game's dying embers and left the score knotted at 1. But before we get to the game, some disturbing scenes of violence, Rog, out of Marseille between Russian and English fans. Awful scenes, Rog.
Awful, awful scenes. Do not upset this man, England fans. He's world police.
Yeah.
violence, shame, scenes that we thought were of the past. Bloodied football fans, smashed glass, riot police bridling to charge. I mean, did no one listen to Justin Bieber when he tweeted out, fighting is not cool? Listen to the Biebs. English
Before
people.
he tried to hit that guy in the head last weekend.
It was after. He put out a press release. It was good. UEFA expressed its utter disgust, open disciplinary proceedings against Russia. I do not know how, for instance, fans were able to get in with fanny packs. What do you call those in America? Fanny packs that had MMA gloves, small knives, and fireworks. It really makes
just the wearing of a balaclava. Just the wearing of a balaclava should be a clue. You'd think.
It should be said. This was meticulously organised by Russian gangs who flew into Switzerland, drove across the border, eager to have some aggro with the English fans, who are a fantastic target. They are a drunk English mess. They're also French firms from Marseille. I mean, the English, they were like dry wood, and these Russian and French gangs were like fire starters. It was all like a trailer from a forthcoming horror movie, which is going to be called 2008, the Russian World Cup. It's incredibly dark, and I found it unbelievably distressing to the degree that I really couldn't even enjoy the football.
Yeah, look, and it's a complex situation. I think it's a combination of the city of Marseille, the end of Ramadan, Russia versus England, like all of the things, too much alcohol, people serving beer to people all night.
And the Russian FA applauding the actions of their fans afterwards. Which is
it's all pretty
Russian.
It's all pretty shocking, I'm afraid. And it does, really does ruin football, especially when you see a game like Sweden-Ireland played today in front of just fantastic, passionate fans. It's just depressing.
To the game now, all that aggro about how are we going to shoehorn Wayne Rooney into the front line was put to bed pretty quickly. We've got ourselves a new young midfield prospect.
Yeah, no, it's just what Louis van Gaal did in the FA Cup final, Rog.
Yeah, he was
He's not exactly Xavi.
He was a midfielder all this time, David, doing the teacup there.
Not exactly Xavi, but not bad.
Well, he
not
wasn't bad. Sterling and Lallana either side of him, to me, is kind of just like, I mean, you've got these aged centre-backs for Russia. If we had anything other than mediocrity, the game could have been put to bed incredibly quickly. Watching the midfield runners charge at the old decaying Russian defence, the footballing version of Lada automobiles just rusting away at the back. It was like watching New England, this brave, new, optimistic England, play old England. The Russian midfield passing was just that awful, ponderous, and full of fear, Davey, with Rooney imperious.
Look, they gave Rooney so much space in the middle of the park, and I think you're right. Sterling had so much speed compared to the Russians, and yet he continued to try and run directly through them. Seemed to think that they were perhaps not made of flesh and bone, but air. He tried to run through them again and again.
I've got to say, other than Robert Griffin III, I can't think of a coveted athlete whose stock has just completely fallen.
In Sterling. And he had some amazing... He sort of lights you up. You tend to think, oh, is this the game he's going to do it? And then it fell apart again.
Raving Rod tweeted, Sterling so crap he should be on Men in Blazers or playing in the Copa.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. England, though, a pretty good team performance for the majority of the game. They couldn't finish. Very naive team. Very little major tournament experience. One of the youngest teams at the Euros, although England have bottled it. You know, they refused to send Eric Dyer to the under-21 European Championships last year. They didn't think he was quite ready. And now here he is at the senior Euros, getting his first piece of tournament experience. He was fantastic, though.
He was. England, by the time they scored, they actually begun to look leggy. English fans baying for Vardy to come on. My Russian was not good, but it seemed like the crowd was begging for Vladimir Putin to come on. At Wanorki, Frank wanted to know, Shiv contest, Vardy versus Putin. Who wins? Prison rules.
Well, it depends if it's on Russian television or on British television. Russian television, without any doubt, it's Putin. It's going to go and win it. And he's going to win it like 15-0 against 15 Jamie Vardy's.
It's like North Korea have never lost a football match on North Korean television.
British television probably.
In North Korea, they edit the game so it's with all the highlights of North Korea. So most of their games start with the referee blowing the whistle. And then the referee, 90 minutes later, blowing it again. They go, oh, North Korea won again.
They lift the World Cup.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. That's how it would be if it was on Russian television. Never, ever bet against Jamie Vardy. His part.
Roy's substitutions after that thumping free kick, though, Rog, Eric Dyer shooting it in, and a lot of criticism for the goalkeeper.
Thank you, Sporting Lisbon.
A lot of criticism for the goalkeeper, but he just hit it so hard from so close outside the area. He put that in, Rog. The substitutions, hauling off Rooney, his most experienced outfield player, a player who defends with his life, Rog, seemed to me an odd decision. And in fact, the concession for the goal came from a Milner mistake upfield. So
something in our national DNA, though, David.
Yeah.
I've got to say, victory was in the bag. I wasn't just thinking about winning this game. I was actually thinking, we're kind of going to win the Euros. We're kind of going to get our empire back together again, David.
Yeah.
But then the clock ticked down.
Yeah. It was inevitable for me that Russia were going to score.
Something
Inevitable.
in our DNA, David. Whole new generation of players, new blood, but the same old lapses. How does that happen?
Well, one clue.
Yeah.
5 Spurs players, Rog, in this England team.
Yeah.
It was extraordinarily Spursy. You got all of the benefits of the Spursiness and, unfortunately, some of the downside also.
It was St. Totteringham's Day played out on a global platform, Dave. The only astonishing thing about it was how unastonishing it was when Russia scored.
Yeah.
I love this England team. Even at the final whistle, the dejection lasted for 5 seconds. They play optimistic football.
Yeah, they do.
They play attacking intent. They play in their own style. They will live with it. They will die with it. I prefer they didn't have to play Wales next, Dave.
Yeah.
A little afraid of that one. It's going to be like 1402's Battle of Bringlass again.
Yeah, Wales, Rog. I like all the home nations. It's difficult, though, Rog. Wales started their first major tournament since 1958 with a 2-1 win over Slovakia. All of these games are so close, Rog, to go top of Group B. Goals from Gareth Bale and the slightly less heralded Hal Robson-Kanu after 12 years at Reading. He's currently unattached, MLS owners.
Best thing to happen to Wales this win since SeaWorld announced it was going to release all of its captive orcas. Got to say, Gareth Bale, problems in every sector. The more I look at that man bun, the more I realise it's there for a reason.
You mean it's just bolted on to cover up a pate?
What it's trying to cover up, but a lot of you are seeing the true ugly details.
Wow.
Never work out how the
3.4.
sausage is made, never work out how the man bun is constructed. That was almost, to me, I thought the weekend couldn't get any more humanly poetic than that win, Dave. I was so thrilled. And then, thank you, Jurgi, love.
Yeah.
Old sweaty pits.
Yeah. Despite a 2-0 victory over Ukraine,
Your
the most
first felt at your
astonishing
junk.
highlight of Germany's opening game.
In the technical area.
A surreal sideline performance.
Stuck his hand down the back of his pants. I can't even do it.
It's almost down the front.
And no, he did it down the front. And then he did it
Then he
down
did
the
it at the
back,
back.
minutes
Oh.
later. And then he smelt it like he was Teutonic Mary Catherine Gallagher. And the question is, why, how, whither? He knows at this point. He's an incredible nose picker from the last World Cup. He knows he gets grief for it.
There might be
he
a
must
camera
be doing
on
it
you.
on purpose.
Yeah.
I think he owns a little piece of Vine, and he's just trying to get that, you know, he's like, maybe I can do this for you, Vine. No, maybe I can up it. I want to know what he's going to do in the next game. Then. What orifices can he like
We did also
explore
show
that?
us a
He's
full armpit sweat move in a fantastic way. Yeah, he is pretty disgusting. Okay, Rog, what else is going on today? Coming up in just a few minutes, Italy versus Belgium. What a game. And tonight in Copa America's Group C, Mexico versus Venezuela in Houston. Do you think they'll get a crowd out for that one, Rog? I think so. But the game that we are going to predict with the help of our
It's gonna
wings.
be like the power of the dog, that game tonight in Houston. It's
Oh,
gonna
no,
be
we
amazing.
are. Mexico versus Venezuela in Houston. We're not going to be predicting Uruguay versus Jamaica because it doesn't matter. Okay, bite into your wings, Rog. Tell us what is going to happen.
Top spot in Copa, Group C, on the line.
Yeah.
Both teams assured a place in the knockout round, but only one of them, if they lose, will go and play Argentina in the quarterfinal, which is probably seen as not a good thing.
What do your wings see, Rog? What do your
They
wings
don't see
see?
anything.
What do they portend?
They taste
Yeah.
of Guardado's redemption. 2 assists in a 3-1 come-from-behind victory.
Rondon scores too early. Our wings may agree with each other. Rog. Okay, brilliant, brilliant stuff.
Tomorrow, Afram Iceland.
Yeah.
We are on at what time tomorrow?
We are coming on at 5 tomorrow, Rog.
I cannot wait. Afram Iceland, my favourite team in Europe, are going to dominate Cristiano Ronaldo, the preening show pony. We will cover, we'll be on right after that game goes to bed.
Brilliant stuff, Rog.
All we can say, America, valiance and courage.
A Roscoe.